If you sell something that's a nice to have or something that's artistic, beautiful, maybe even a luxury, basically something you can get by in life without, keep watching, this one's for you. I felt like that all the time as a wedding calligrapher, and it's a lot of my audience too. Click like if you're a creative entrepreneur and you've ever felt like, but what I sell doesn't exactly cure cancer or anything. Today I'm going to show you how you can lawyer up in your sales copy as a creative entrepreneur. You'll see how to solidify your sales argument through 6 different types, tried and true tips, and you'll understand how to lace them into your copy with all the screenshotable examples that I've got teed up for you. All right, get your pink fuzzy pen up and ready to go, a la Elle Woods. What, like it's hard? And let's dig in. By the way, if we've not yet met, my name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm a conversion copywriter and brand and launch strategist for the Creative Entrepreneur Set. I love helping you figure out how to make more money with your words and know what to say when it comes to selling the services and the products that you provide. First, let's talk about why you should even lawyer up in your sales copy to begin with. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think you need to do that. The majority of us are a sucker for legal dramas and shows. To Kill a Mockingbird was one of my very favorite books growing up. Shout out to my home state of Alabama. Gotten sucked into my fair share of John Grisham books and TV shows that have to do with lawyer stuff too. They're kind of fun, and I also know I'm not alone. But what do these courtroom examples have to do with your sales copy that you're using to market what you do? Every time that I face any sort of legal issue as a small business owner, my attorney always steps in and she says, okay, Ashlyn, what would your ideal outcome be here? Lawyers know how to pick an outcome. And that's why we're starting here, because I want you to come into writing your sales copy with an opinion. That's so important. Reason number 1, thinking like a lawyer works when it comes to your copy is because you're keeping the sales argument as a battle of ideas. And that's a classy way to fight. It's kind of like debate club. Survival of the best idea wins. Screenwriter Aaron Sorkin said, find the conflict, you're going to find the heart of the story. And copywriter Joanna Wiebe said this that I love, our brains are wired to pay attention to conflict. We make decisions, weighing options, comparing X to Y, contrasting Y with Z. Let me give you 2 examples kind of showing you what I mean might help demystify this a little bit. I mentioned calligraphy earlier. I have a lot of stationers and artists in my audience. So think about when you're selling on your website and your marketing, how do you want to position yourself against the big box places or things like minted.com? Or if you offer website design templates, you're going to need to position and anchor those against the competition, which would be done for you web design services. You may even do this within your own business. I have a template side of my business, the Copy Bar, and we have an agency as well. So there are times I have to kind of argue against myself and play lawyer back and forth. When and why is a template the best fit and done for you services are not? And when are done for you services the best fit and you definitely don't need to mess with templates? See what I mean? Besides keeping your copy a battle of ideas, the second reason that lawyering up works in your copy is because leveraging logic keeps it simple. You decide what has to be proven and then you go out there and get the evidence. Here is another fabulous example. This is from Kelsey, who is a Copywriting for Creatives alum. She creates and ships out beautiful sugar flower art, and as you can see in her homepage, she's arguing for why bakers should purchase from her and not big box companies with massive amounts of sugar flowers, but instead work with her one-on-one to create their design. Do you see this proof point that she brings up? It says the Knot predicts 2.6 million weddings this year. That's a lot of wedding cakes, and you're baking your fair share of them. Walk down an elegant, magazine-worthy look that's ready for its close-up with these best-selling bride-favorited flowers. That is a good argument. Why? Because it's simple. It's not fluffy. It's not filling with all this emotion and miscellaneous info. Let me give you a couple more examples of this. Here's another argument. Wedding photographer businesses tend to be around 90+% referral based. So when our agency was working on copy for Emily Magers and her program that talked about client experience, that was the big idea. That was the hook. Build a client experience that wins you that percentage of referrals. Now, some of these are examples of hooks. I'm going to talk about how you can find the hook in your copy in an upcoming video, so be sure to look down below, click the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you don't miss that. But all of this goes back to the concept. If you can't explain it simply, you probably don't understand it well enough. The last reason that lawyering up works in your copy is because it understands that there is a precedent or a set way that people like to do things. Copywriting for creative students, you know I take you through going through the quad exercise before you write a piece of sales copy in your business, knowing what people know, feel, say, and do about what it is that you're trying to come along and help them with. Those 4 things are important because you're acknowledging what's already going on. And you're saying there's a better way, it's time to break precedent. I love watching how my friend Christina Scalera does this and argues for it. Fun fact, her background is as an attorney, but she argues for what she helps people with, and it's setting up digital e-commerce stores. Her services and her ideas are great, by the way. But watch in her marketing, she always kind of pits her business against the standing idea and thought out there, which is like selling on Etsy, for example. Okay, now I hope you're starting to make a few connections between maybe your favorite courtroom dramas and what that has to do with your sales copy, but let's get tactical. I want to show you 6 different ways that you can start to use these thoughts and actually implement them into your copy. Okay, you're now starting to hopefully make some connections between your favorite courtroom drama and your sales copy, your product descriptions, your sales pages, your services pages, your welcome magazines and emails. But now let's talk about what that could actually look like in action with some tactical tips. 6, in fact. Okay, let me back up. If you've never heard me talk about my PARIS copywriting framework, I'll link it down below for you to look at. But what I want to talk to you about here is that I, in particular, that interesting data point. It is so important that even though you've got this emotional argument going on in your sales copy, that you bring in the rational side of things. There's still fuzzy back and forth, pull and push out there in the marketing world when it comes to what really matters most when people purchase, but a lot of us, at least most of us, tend to buy with our emotions, or our emotions get bought in first, and then we back it up with the rational thinking as to why that is a good decision. I showed you that example from Kelsey's website copy earlier. She'd made the emotional argument as to why her sugar flower artistry is a great addition, but now she's coming in with the data point, the facts to back it up. I want to show you a few more examples of copywriting for creative students who did this so well. Let's flip the camera around. Okay, the first example that I wanted to show of you is Kawandi's website. So let's scroll down a little bit. You can tell right up here she's started off with the problem, agitation, solution formula, but after she reminds them what they want, we have the I come in, and she does it so well. Statistics show 17% of women are in the process of starting. She brings in a few more, and she kind of alludes to the whole concept that like 10% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. And she says, I'm here to make sure that you're not in that. You stand out. So that's one example that I wanted to show you. And then another one that is really good. So I already scrolled down to the I, but this is Jordan's website. So she also is a website designer. And we'll scroll down a little bit. So she's got all of the emotional copy up here. More emotional copy. So good. She's reminding them what they want. And then, boom, is it really worth it? Glad you asked. And she has the I, the interesting data point in here as well. So great job, both those CFC students. Well done. Number 2, this is an easy one. I'm going to throw you a few words here up over the side that you can use in your copy to help kind of lead the horse to water. Use phrases in your copy like because and if-then statements. Here's an example of what that could look like. You could even throw in a which begs the question. Those offer little context clues to your reader that they need to be thinking through these things just like you're navigating them through. Number 3, and this is kind of a sticky one, so as always, I'm gonna come in hot with the examples, but on a sales page or a services page, your goal is to sell the idea, and your product or your service is just the Aladdin magic carpet vehicle to help them get there faster. This one's a tish harder to explain, but it's something I catch all the time when I'm auditing student work inside the Copy Bar Collective. But the sales page needs to sell the big idea or the hook and point to the product or services means to get there. Here's an example. This is the Prime to Launch product I sell, but in the sales copy, you can read that I'm selling the concept of why you should have a quarterly champagne campaign system in your business. And then the Prime to Launch product is just how you can get that for under $50. If you want to see this in action, shameless plug, go to primetolaunch.com. This is a small offer that I have in my business, but you'll see how the copy goes through and sells the idea of why you need a quarterly champagne campaign system in your business instead of rotating through content buckets. After I've hopefully really sold that idea, I introduce Prime to Launch, how you can get all of that in an easy roadmap for under $50. Okay, next tip, you can use what I call the Starbucks test or Socratic methodology. Price anchoring is just helping me understand the context of what you do, maybe by showing me other value points before you tell me what you're going to charge me. And then you've heard of the Socratic method from back in high school when you talked about the classics and the Greek philosopher Socrates. It's the idea that to delve into his students' view, he would ask them questions until they would come to the conclusion on their own. You can do this with your clients and your customers. You can help them come to the conclusion on their own. All of us have bought something before where we hear the argument, you could ditch your weekly coffee habit and stop spending $7 a week on coffee, or you could buy this. Decision is yours. That's price anchoring. You're helping someone understand what that value is in their minds. Their coffee expenses might not matter for what you do, but you should at least in your copy help them understand that money is going somewhere. They're going to spend it. What will they be spending it on? I'm going to flip the camera around and show you again some incredible examples of some CFC students who rocked this. Okay, lucky you, copywriting for creative students have knocked this out. So I have 2 incredible examples to show you. So I'm about halfway down on a sales page for Erin's product, but what I want to show you is how she brilliantly does this. So she talks about what they could do. And the first thing she does is reference time, how they'll lose time doing certain things. But what I love, let's keep scrolling, is after this testimonial, I'm going to talk about those in just a moment. She does, for $29, you could get a new tea at Madewell, get a venti latte at Starbucks, or get the Mom Life Reset. Incredible price anchoring there. I'm going to come over to here because this is an example. This is Chelsea's website. She's a videographer. And she also, again, I'm about halfway down. This is a good place to put it on a sales or a services page. She says there's a few ways to save. You could do this. You could do this. Or you could do what I want you to do. So that is the Socratic methodology in action on 2 different services pages. They look great. My number 5 tip, this is one of my favorites, address the elephant in the room. I love opinionated copy. I love copy that gets gutsy and goes there, and I want you to write like that. If there is something that your reader is going to have in the back of their mind as they're reading your copy, think, yeah, but you've got to address that. Go out there and address it in your copy. This is important because it shows you're questioning everything, even yourself. You're not tuning out the other side. You're listening to them. You're trying to understand their point of view. You've seen this done directly before. You know those old Apple commercials that pitted Apple against PC? Chick-fil-A goes there with their eat more chicken argument. That's probably one of the best takeaways from this whole video. If there is something that your reader is probably thinking in the back of their mind but not saying as they read their copy, you better go there. That's your job. My last tip, number 6, is stacking in what I call social proof passes. If you have my Sweet 16 sales page or services page outline, you know I'm all about these with my homepage template as well. Like that good attorney, you're going to have one piece of evidence to back up every claim you make. This way, you're not throwing out fluffy words in your copy like best or customer satisfaction, proven, things like that. But show me that. Show me that with actual people saying that this worked for them. Show me the evidence. Whew, all right. That is how you back up what you're saying in your copy and you lawyer up. I hope seeing all of those examples in action helps you understand how you can do this for what you do. Like I said, far too many creative types don't bring in the logical reasoning in their sales arguments, and I'm on a mission to change that. Look down below to get on the wait list for the next time we swing open doors to Copywriting for Creatives, and you can get your hands on a freebie. It's the anatomy of a sales page or a services page work with me page, so you can understand how to arrange this argument. If you like this video, let me know by clicking that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell next to it so you don't miss out on the next one too. All right, now you know how to put your serious hat on and lawyer up in your copy, but what about adding in more moments of levity and lightness in brand voice? Be sure to watch the next video I've got teed up for you. I'm diving into microcopy and how to use it. Thank you so much for watching. Here's to working from a place of more rest, less hustle, and I'll see you in the next one.